Okay, so you want to own a BMW. You picture yourself walking out of the dealership with a brand new luxury car. The engine starts with a deep growl. The steering feels incredibly precise. Every traffic light becomes an excuse to enjoy the acceleration. People notice. Friends congratulate you. Strangers assume you've made it. It feels like success. But here's the strange part. Buying a BMW is usually the cheapest day you'll ever have with it, because the moment you drive it off the lot, an invisible clock starts ticking. Insurance gets more expensive. Maintenance becomes more complicated. Repairs cost more than most people expect. And every mile you drive quietly reduces the value of the car sitting in your driveway. That's the part most buyers never calculate. The dealership sells you the dream. The economics begin after you leave. So before you decide whether owning a BMW is worth it, you first need to understand what you're actually buying. Because you're not just buying a car, you're buying a long-term financial commitment. BMW didn't become one of the world's most recognizable luxury brands by accident. The company was founded in Germany over 100 years ago and built its reputation on engineering, performance, and driving experience. Today, millions of BMWs are sold across the world every year, from the sporty 3 Series to the luxurious 7 Series. And the high-performance M models, BMW offers vehicles for almost every luxury buyer. But every BMW shares one thing in common. They all carry a premium price. And that premium doesn't only apply to the sticker on the windshield. It follows the car for as long as you own it. Let's imagine you're buying a brand new BMW 330i. The base model might seem reasonably priced for a luxury sedan, but that's rarely the car people actually buy. Luxury manufacturers make a surprising amount of money from optional features. A larger set of wheels, premium leather seats, a panoramic sunroof, adaptive suspension, driver assistance technology, a premium sound system. One option doesn't seem expensive, but several options together can add thousands of dollars before you've even turned the key. That's why 2 BMWs that look almost identical can have dramatically different prices. And yet, very few buyers pay cash. Most choose financing. At first glance, financing seems simple. Instead of paying tens of thousands of dollars today, you make one payment every month. That feels easier, but here's what dealerships understand better than almost anyone else. People rarely shop using the total price. They shop using the monthly payment. There's a huge psychological difference between asking, can you afford a $60,000 BMW, and asking, can you afford $850 per month? The second question feels much smaller, even though both questions can describe exactly the same car. That's why monthly payments sell more luxury cars than horsepower ever could. But those payments come with interest, and interest quietly increases the real cost of ownership. Over several years, many buyers end up paying thousands more than the original purchase price. Then something else happens. The value of the car starts falling. Not because anything's wrong with it, simply because it's no longer new. Luxury vehicles often lose value faster than many mainstream cars during their first few years, which creates a problem. Some owners discover that they still owe more money to the bank than the car is actually worth. Financial experts call this being underwater on a loan. It's a situation nobody plans for. Yet thousands of luxury car owners experience it every year, and believe it or not, we've only talked about buying the car. We haven't discussed fuel, insurance, maintenance, repairs, or the hidden expenses that can quietly turn a dream purchase into a surprisingly expensive financial decision. Because once you own a BMW, the real bills are only getting started. So you've bought the BMW. The keys are in your pocket. The monthly payment seems manageable. For a moment, everything feels exactly as you imagined. Then the first insurance bill arrives. This is where many first-time luxury car owners get their first surprise. Insurance companies don't just look at the price of the vehicle, they also look at how expensive it is to repair. A BMW is filled with advanced electronics, premium materials, powerful engines, and specialized parts. Even a relatively small accident can become surprisingly expensive. A damaged LED headlight can cost thousands of dollars to replace. Modern bumpers aren't just plastic anymore. Many contain parking sensors, cameras, radar systems, and electronic modules. A minor parking lot accident can quickly turn into a repair bill that costs far more than most drivers expect. Insurance companies know this. That's why premiums for luxury vehicles are usually much higher than for economy cars, and that's only the beginning. Next comes fuel. Unlike many affordable cars that can run on regular gasoline, most modern BMW models are designed for premium fuel. The difference doesn't seem important when you're filling the tank for the first time. It's only a few extra dollars. But the small difference follows you every single week, month after month, year after year, over thousands of miles. Premium fuel quietly adds thousands of dollars to the total cost of ownership. Most buyers never think about that while standing in the showroom because they're focused on buying the car, not feeding it. Then comes scheduled maintenance. Luxury cars aren't simply more expensive because of the badge on the hood. They're also engineered differently. Turbocharged engines operate under higher temperatures and greater pressure. Performance brakes wear faster. Larger wheels require more expensive tires. Even something as routine as an oil change usually costs significantly more than it would on an average family sedan. The labor itself also becomes part of the bill. BMW technicians receive specialized training and use manufacturer-specific diagnostic equipment. That expertise isn't free, and neither are the tools. As a result, routine servicing often costs far more than many owners expect before they buy the car. This is one of the biggest differences between purchasing a luxury vehicle and purchasing an ordinary one. The purchase price only tells part of the story. The maintenance budget tells the rest. But here's something even more interesting. Not every BMW costs the same to maintain. A 4-cylinder 3 Series may be relatively affordable compared to a V8-powered M5. The more powerful the engine, the more complex the engineering, the more expensive nearly everything becomes. Larger brakes, wider tires, more oil, higher performance cooling systems. Every upgrade that improves performance also increases ownership costs. That's the trade-off buyers really consider. Performance isn't free. Someone always pays for it, and eventually, that someone is the owner. But scheduled maintenance isn't what scares experienced BMW owners the most. It's the repairs that nobody sees coming, because modern luxury cars contain hundreds of electronic components working together every time you press the start button. Most of the time, they work perfectly until one doesn't. A failed electronic sensor, a leaking cooling component, a malfunctioning control module. None of these sound dramatic. Yet each one can result in a repair bill that reaches hundreds or even thousands of dollars. This is why many long-term BMW owners say something surprising. The most expensive BMW isn't always the newest one. Sometimes it's the older one that's just out of warranty. Because once the manufacturer's warranty expires, every repair comes directly out of your own pocket. And that's the moment when the economics of owning a BMW begin to change completely. By now, the monthly payments, insurance, and fuel costs all make sense. They're expected, but the expenses that surprise most BMW owners aren't the ones they planned for. They're the ones they never saw coming. Take tires, for example. Many BMW models leave the factory with high-performance run-flat tires. They're designed to keep the car moving even after a puncture, which sounds impressive, but there's a trade-off. Run-flat tires usually cost significantly more than regular tires, and because performance tires use softer rubber for better grip, they often wear out much faster. Replacing a full set can cost well over $1,000 depending on the model. Then there are the brakes. BMW builds cars to stop just as confidently as they accelerate. That means larger brake discs, premium brake pads, and more advanced braking systems. The result is excellent performance. The downside is that replacing those parts costs far more than it does on an ordinary sedan. And unlike oil changes, brake replacements aren't something you can postpone forever. There's another cost that quietly catches owners off guard. Luxury cars rely heavily on technology. Large digital displays, parking cameras, radar sensors, adaptive cruise control, electronic suspension, and dozens of onboard computers all work together every time you drive. When everything works, it's seamless. But when just one electronic component fails, diagnosing the problem can take hours and replacing it can cost far more than most people expect. This is why experienced BMW owners often say something surprising. The cheapest BMW to buy is sometimes the most expensive BMW to own. A heavily discounted used BMW might look like an incredible bargain, but if it's out of warranty and overdue for major maintenance, the repair bills can quickly erase every dollar you thought you saved. A low purchase price doesn't always mean low ownership costs. Sometimes it means the previous owner has already avoided the expenses that are now waiting for you. And that's exactly why looking only at the price tag can be one of the most expensive mistakes a luxury car buyer can make. If repairs are the most obvious expense of owning a BMW, there's another cost that's much easier to ignore because it never arrives in your mailbox. It never appears on your credit card statement. And yet, for many owners, it's the single biggest expense of all: depreciation. The moment a brand new BMW leaves the dealership, it becomes a used car. Nothing about the vehicle has changed. The engine is the same, the interior is the same, the technology is the same, but its market value has already started to fall. During the first few years, luxury cars often lose value faster than many mainstream vehicles. That's because buyers shopping for used luxury cars expect a discount, while buyers looking for new ones want the latest model, newest technology, and full factory warranty. This creates a gap between what you paid and what someone else is willing to pay later. Imagine buying a BMW today and deciding to sell it 3 years from now. Even if you've taken perfect care of it, driven it responsibly, and kept every service record, there's a good chance the car will be worth far less than what you originally paid. And unlike fuel or insurance, depreciation isn't something you can avoid. Every owner pays it. The only question is how much. This is one reason many financial experts recommend buying a well-maintained used BMW instead of a brand new one. The first owner often absorbs the largest drop in value, while the second owner gets a similar driving experience for a much lower purchase price. But even that strategy comes with risk. A cheaper purchase price can quickly lose its advantage if the car needs expensive repairs after the warranty expires. That's why smart buyers don't just compare purchase prices, they compare total ownership costs, because in the world of luxury cars, the cheapest deal on paper isn't always the cheapest deal in reality. And understanding that difference is what separates an informed buyer from an expensive mistake. After everything we've covered, one question remains: is owning a BMW actually worth it? The answer depends on what you're expecting from the car. If your goal is simply to get from one place to another, there are dozens of vehicles that can do the job for far less money. They'll often cost less to insure, use cheaper fuel, require less maintenance, and hold their value better over time. From a purely financial perspective, those cars make more sense, but people don't buy BMWs based only on logic. They buy them because of the experience, the precise steering, the powerful acceleration, the quiet cabin, the feeling of driving a machine engineered for performance rather than basic transportation. For many owners, those qualities are worth paying extra for. The mistake happens when buyers focus only on the purchase price and ignore everything that comes after it. A BMW isn't expensive because of one large bill. It's expensive because of hundreds of smaller costs that accumulate over years of ownership. Fuel, insurance, maintenance, repairs, depreciation. Individually, each expense may seem manageable. Together, they create the true cost of owning a luxury vehicle. That's why the smartest BMW owners don't ask, "Can I afford to buy this car?" They ask, "Can I afford to own this car for the next 5 years?" Those are two very different questions, because buying a BMW can take just one afternoon. Owning one is a commitment that lasts for years, and that's the real economics of owning a BMW. The badge may represent luxury, but understanding the numbers behind it is what makes the difference between a dream purchase and an expensive financial lesson. So, is owning a BMW a good financial decision? The truth is, there isn't one answer that fits everyone. For some people, a BMW is simply a car. For others, it's a reward for years of hard work. The problem isn't buying a luxury vehicle. The problem is buying one without understanding the true cost of ownership. A BMW offers exceptional engineering, impressive performance, and one of the most enjoyable driving experiences on the road. But none of those benefits cancel out the financial reality. Every mile you drive, every service appointment, every insurance payment, and every year of depreciation adds to the total cost of ownership. That's why the smartest buyers don't fall in love with the badge. They study the numbers first. Because luxury isn't about spending the most money. It's about making financial decisions you can comfortably live with years from now. At the end of the day, owning a BMW can absolutely be worth it. So if you can comfortably afford not only the purchase price, but everything that comes after it. And that's the real economics of owning a BMW.